Hello and welcome to another New Hotel Academy webinar. Today's subject is Managing Group Reservations, Best Practices. In this webinar, I will show you how to insert group reservations, rooming list, options to import and export, multiple transactions, group invoicing, multiple changes on group reservations, group checkout, and the main reports of group reservations. To access all the options of group reservation, we need first on our PMS to go to Front Office, and in this center group we have all the options regarding group reservations. To create a new group reservation, we need to click on New Group, and the form to create the group will appear. In order to create the group reservation, first we need to have a name. A description is not mandatory. I will use the same as the name. The type that we can set up. In this example, I only have business and leisure. I will leave it leisure. And we have here three options: is group, is party, and invoice to group. If the option is group is selected, then this is a normal group reservation. It's a group that is from a company or from a tour operator, and the behavior is like a normal group. If this option is selected, this means that this is not a group reservation, but we can create several reservations that share the same attributes like arrival and departure date, the price, the rate, the room type that we reserved, and so on. So it allows us to create several reservations, but it's not a group. It's just a set of reservations that share some attributes. For this example, we leave it in is group. The option invoice to group allows us to create a common current account, and all the charges and transactions of this group will be posted in the common current account. If otherwise is not selected, each individual reservation will have its own transactions, and then they can be invoiced separately. For this example, let's choose invoice to group. Then we need to set the arrival and departure date, like an individual reservation. So let's choose a check-in and check-out date. Let's put, for example, the 1st of June and 5 nights. If I click on check availability, the PMS will tell me how many room types I have available for this period. It will show me the room types available for the date that I've chosen. Then I need to set how many individual reservations I want to create. I will create 5. And the room type I wish to reserve. Let's put a suite. The meal plan for all reservations. Let's put BB. And how many guests per reservation. Let's put 2 guests per reservation. Now, let's suppose that not all reservations are on a suite. 2 of them are on a double. So I have here the option Advance that allows me to edit this setup I put here on top. Here below, I can edit and say, for example, that 3 reservations are on a suite in BB and 2 of them are on a double. I do OK, and we see that we have 5 reservations and we have 3 on suite and 2 on double. We can choose the source and segment as an individual reservation, and this will be added to all individual reservations, like this, and also the segment. I will choose, for example, leisure others, and the origin country of this reservation. Below, we have the tab Advanced that allows me to add some more advanced features like color, deadline, some comments, and housekeeping comments. These comments will be added to all individual reservations. And we have an info tab with the responsible and the salesman of this group. On the right side, we have the option to choose from direct, company or owner. Let's put a company, for example. Choose here a company, commission, agent, contract allotment, like the individual reservations. We can choose a price rate. We can select all of our price rates inside the PMS or add a manual price. Let's choose, for example, a manual price of €100 per night. Add a discount, add cancellation policies, and add a reference rate. If I refresh the price, the PMS will calculate this price with €100 per night times 5 reservations times 5 nights, and we'll add this total. We can see the behavior here per day, how much will be the rate. On the left side, we also have the option to add the rooming list. If we know the guests already, we can double click on the holder and add some guests like this, where we can type the guest's name or search from our database on our hotel. We also have another tab of contacts that we can add, and it's the contact of this reservation, not a guest. Finally, we have the option to configure the current account. We have the option to add credit, can be unlimited or with an amount, and give instructions to transfer. I will speak about transfer and current account configuration on a future webinar. Finally, to complete this group reservation, I just need to choose OK. The PMS created 5 individual reservations that are tagged with this name. If I do OK, I can see here under Groups Manager, my group webinar. The Groups Manager option, located here on the groups, allows us to manage and search for our group reservations. We can search them by using the filters on top with group name, description, group type, created, arrival or departure date, occupancy, and so on. And also allow us to manage our reservations by selecting the group and using the functions on the left side. First option is New Group. It's the same thing as click on New Group here on top. View allows us to view the group. If I select the group that I created and click on View, we can see a summary of that group reservation with the group properties, group account, the info, and the individual reservations. We can make a copy with the function copy. It will create an exact group reservation using this copy. This can be used to save time by creating copies of reservations. One of the most important tools is Modify. This Modify allows us to change several items at the same time, avoiding the need to enter each reservation individually. I can change things like the arrival or departure date. Imagine that I wish to change the checkout date of these 2 reservations. I just need to select them, change the departure date to the 7th, and update. And these 2 reservations will have the checkout date with a different date of the others. Allows me also to change the room type, the source, the segment, add different comments, change the prices, For example, let's change the prices of those suite. I need to select the 3 reservations and the suite. Click on manual price, put a different price, update, and as you can see, these 3 reservations now has a different price. And I can also change the current account. We can see the individual reservations inside the group by clicking here on reservations. It will show me the 5 reservations inside the group. We can cancel this group. We can check in, multiple check-in. We can check out all reservations at once, give no show, give no overbooking, or choose an upsell item. We also have the option to manage the current account by close, view the transactions, and manage the rooming list. The Groups Manager is where you can manage and search your reservations. Because managing rooming lists is a procedure that takes too long, we have a feature on our PMS that allows us to create a template to import rooming lists inside group reservations. I will show you an example. To do that, we need to go to Groups Manager, select a group. We will use the group I created, and the first option is to export here under rooming list. This will create an Excel file that allows me to send to the group responsible or to a tour operator that they can fill with the guest name and other details. Let's do that. We give a name to this template, we save it, and it will create a file like this. Now we have a template that we can use to import all our guests. We need to have some attention here because the dates should be in this format, the country in ISO 2 code, like Portugal PT, United States US, and so on. Gender must be identified with 1 to male and 0 to female. Room type, the abbreviation, but it's already there because it was read from the database. And the group ID that we have here. We just need to add now the rest of the contents. And now I have my rooming list created. I just need to save as a CSV. So save as a CSV and save. And on the PMS, and I will import, choose the file. When I do open, the details were imported to the reservation, and if I now go to the rooming list, I see that all reservations now has the guest names. This is very useful because it saves a lot of time creating the rooming lists for the group reservations. To make the process of inserting services on group reservations more agile, the PMS has a feature that allows us to insert one or more services into reservations all at once. For that, we need to go to Transactions, and here we have the option Bulk Transactions. We open it, and in this window we have 2 boxes. The top one allows us to choose the service we wish to add to the reservations. So we click on Add, select the service below. By pressing the Control key, I can select several services at the same time. Let's choose golf lesson, tennis court, and newspaper, for example. Press Select, and these 3 services appear on the top. We now have to value them by putting a price. Let's put 10, 20, and 25. And on the section below, we'll be able to choose our reservations. Let's search for our group webinar. So I want to choose the group, this one. Click on Filter, and all the individual reservations under the group webinar will appear. Let's select them all by pressing the Shift key to select all at once, and then select. We have on top the services with their prices and the amount, and the reservations. Once I press Process, the PMS will add these 3 services to all of the reservations below, like this. When this is finished, we see this check mark on Succeeded. And it's done. We have also the option to save this as a template. Imagine that you want to save this process and repeat it on future reservations. You just need to save as, give us a description, do OK, list saved, and the next time you just need to open Load and look for this saved list. This is a very fast process to insert several services into multiple reservations. To create the invoice for group reservations, we have 3 options. The first option is on our Groups Manager. We select the group that we wish to invoice. We open the current account by clicking on the option View. And if the check-in date is for the future, we need to do an invoice in advance. We click in this option. The PMS will generate all the transactions, and we can invoice this group reservation. We just need to add the holder, add the payment method, and issue the invoice. This only happens if this group reservation has a current account created with the option I showed in the beginning to invoice the group. If we didn't put that option, we have 2 other options. The first one is to go to Bookings Manager, select the group by searching here, filter, select all individual reservations on this group, and then click on Invoice. Again, if the check-in date is for the future, we need to do it in advance. We choose this option. Again, the PMS will generate the transactions, and we have all the transactions here. We just need to invoice. Again, add the holder and the payment method and issue the invoice. Finally, we have another option. Here under Transactions, the option to invoice, we select it. We choose the group, this one. The PMS will show the individual reservations. We select All, and with all reservations selected, we can invoice in advance. Just choose Invoice and add the holder and the payment method. These 3 options allow us to create the invoice for group reservations. The PMS also allows us to do multiple check-ins and check-outs on group reservations. For example, if I go to my Groups Manager, I can search for reservations that arrive today. So I'll choose here on the filter Arrival equals work date. I search and I see I have this reservation. I can just click and select the option Check-in. This will only happen if all the guests are registered and all the details are inserted on the group reservation. For that, I need just to see if, for example, All guests are registered. Let's go here on the rooming list. Add all the guests to the reservation by selecting the reservation, double click, add the guest. And I'm going to do to all reservations. After all guests are registered on the reservation, I need to make sure that all the reservations have the room assigned. So to do that, I can use the room allocation tool, select the group, filter, and use the automatic assignation of rooms. The PMS will choose the rooms. I say confirm, yes, and now I'm able to do the multiple check-in. Just select the group, choose the option check-in, and it's done. As we can see, under room planning, for example, we have our reservations, 3 reservations checked in and with room assigned. To do the multiple checkout of group reservations, we need to go also to Groups Manager, search for reservations that does checkout today. I will use the departure equals work date and clear this filter. And I have this group that does checkout today. To be able to do the checkout, I need to make sure that the current account is settled. To do that, I need to invoice. I will use the transactions invoice ticket option to settle all current account of that group. For that, I will look for that group that checks out today. Select this group, filter, select all individual reservations, and I will do an invoice of these 3 reservations on the same document. Okay, I just need to enter a holder, put some fiscal number, add a payment method, okay, and issue the invoice. Invoice is created. Now I'm able to check out this group. So I go back to the groups, choose the option checkout, and if everything is okay, I can do the checkout and it's done. If I go to room planning, I see that my 3 reservations that were under that group were checkout. I can see here the status checkout and no arrow pointing down. So here under Groups Manager, we can do the multiple check-in of group reservations and multiple checkout. The PMS has several reports to help you managing group reservations. Here under Reports, I already have some examples. I have the occupancy profile that shows the individual and group reservations. We have also a pickup room nights by groups, where you can see a report with pickup for May and June. And also here on front office, we have a group planning that shows the group reservation on a visual representation. On top we can see the weekdays and the number of reservations for each group. If I right click, I have the option to see the group or see the individual reservations. Finally, we have the option Group Templates. This allows us to create group templates when we are creating a group reservation, so we can use it on a later date. For example, if I use this group template already created, it will create a group reservation with that template. We just need to change the date and add the rooming list, and it's done. This is some of the possibilities of the group reservations. I hope you like this webinar, and if you have any question or doubt or a suggestion for future subjects, please send us an email to academy@newhotel.com. Hope to see you soon, and until next time.